أرسمك أرسم أمل بسام ونرسم حضارة ومدن.
Welcome to your weekly program, BelAhdan, the show that brings the other side of Arab American to your living room. As we all in the news, Arab been presented in so many different ways, none of which is art and entertainment. And I think 30 years ago, as an immigrant coming to this country, lost in the culture, trying to struggle to understand the new world, here I hear this wonderful music and Abdul Zafandi restaurants, wonderful place. Here it was like somebody lost and found his mother. And here is Cassandra at the shore was dancing in that restaurant. It was a wonderful feeling to connect with the culture. She's been doing this for a long time. She's still doing it, motivated. I don't know how she does it. Every morning, wakes up and say, I'm going to do this. Cassandra Shore, she's the artistic director of Jawahir Dance Company. Welcome to BelAhdan, Cassandra.
Thank you, Ahmed. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
I don't know how I get up that early anymore either, but...
Or you get up.
You know, you have to get up, right? Well, you know, if you want to do what you do, you have to stay committed to it, and that's one way I can stay, you know, in a performing shape and do. You work with your body. You have to keep it in good enough shape to do what you do. You know?
I was wondering about this. You know, people do. You know, I can't even walk that long, let alone dance for that long. But how do you? I mean, dancing for you is probably, you know, your life, or
it definitely has been my life. Yes, absolutely, yes.
And well, I know your story began with dance before even Middle Eastern dance.
Yes, before Middle Eastern dance. I was attracted to dance anyway, and I was at the university. I was actually in pre-med. I would have been a doctor.
There's a relation. You study body.
I say it's all related because it's still healing and it's the body, and you know. But it's. I actually would have probably gone into medicine had I not been distracted by dance. I was already distracted by modern dance and ballet, and really mostly modern dance because Minneapolis is a very, very I'd say important center really for modern dance. So at the university, I took a lot of that, and then I found Middle Eastern dance through the music, and I was so fascinated with how they go together and the completely unusual...
Modern dance and
No, the Middle Eastern dance, that's so different from modern dance.
Sure,
The technique is different, the way the body is held, I mean, the way the lines that make it artistic are different, the way the music is used, everything is very expressive. Modern dance was very cool at that time. You know, styles change, but... and so I just became very attracted to it, and eventually, you know, the only way I could get where I wanted to go and learn what I really, really wanted to learn was to travel overseas and study in Egypt and watch the Egyptians and talk to the troupe directors and just get as much, you know, get as much information and understand as much about the culture and the way the dance is done there and how it relates to the music and understand the music as much as possible.
And you got educated by the best. I mean, your story was an Egyptian, you know, best Middle Eastern dancer probably in the Middle East.
You mean Mahmoud Rada?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I have to say, he's a very generous person with his time and his talent, and he was very. I brought him here to Minneapolis twice. He's still very active, and I think he's in his 70s. Yeah, he doesn't travel as much as he used to because it's a little more trouble for him to travel. But
9/11, you know.
But yeah,
he's one of the great dancers. Could have frisked him at the airport.
Well, you know, no, right. Well, he doesn't have to worry about that, I don't think, because he, you know, now if you see him, he just looks like a very nicely dressed elderly gentleman. You know,
I saw him on ART interview.
Oh, did you with him?
And he was talking about his. You know, story was dance in Egypt. It wasn't even that.
There wasn't any really. Well, there was dance in Egypt, but it was not. It was never put on the stage and recognized for what it was. You know, for that it was native Egyptian dance, and that there was something artistic about it. And I mean, of course, it existed. I mean, look how long.
And being a man and once studied dance, it was hard for him.
That was very that's hard. Especially ballet. Although I think. When I did talk to him about starting his group, you know, because he started the group, one of the first groups, he said, and I remember him saying, oh, when I started, I had 40 men and 6 women, And I thought, oh my God, you had 40 men? How did you get 40 men? You know, because it's much more difficult to get men to dance here in the States. And he said, oh no, because of course women, you know, it's not really, wasn't really proper for women to be dancing in public. So the fact that he got Farida to, you know, to join the company.
Was his sister-in-law.
Yes, was his sister-in-law, and very talented and amazing. And she is also still dancing and teaching and doing choreography for groups and for their group, which they have, that is not really called the Retta group anymore, but yeah.
So
they're still both
hope.
very
They are much longer than you are.
Right.
So there is hope.
There is a lot, right.
Yes.
Well, you know, you have to look at people like that have done a lot in their life and see what they've done and how they've done it, and then you can model about that, so you can keep excited about it. Yeah, well, there's always something new in dance, you know. There's there's always some new thing to think about and learn, and then of course the music is changing. So when the music changes, dance changes with it, and you know.
It's fascinating for me because to be a good dancer, I mean, your relationship with your body is gotta be, you know, very comfortable and very, I don't know how you do. I mean, I cannot communicate to my body things. I think you should have this wonderful relationship with your body. And
you have to develop it, though. I mean, some people are very natural dancers, and they are very in touch with their bodies already, and they know where all their body parts are, and they know their right from their left, and they have very good control. Well, they have very good control, but most people have to develop that, and that's what training is for. So a lot of times people can dance a little bit, and especially, you know, if you have Arab American girls or Arab girls in the class, they all know how to dance a little bit, because they all know how to dance, and everybody knows how to dance at home. But the difference between just being able to dance sort of party style, and then and then training yourself to like actually be able to know what you're doing on one side and know what you're doing on the other side, it's a little bit different. So that takes a little bit of time, and it does for everybody. You know,
most of the students that they come to your studio or to your school are American.
Most are Americans. We have, you know, it's kind of it's a mix now, because the demographic makeup of the Twin Cities is different. It's changing all the time. So we have, you know, lots of there's Latino girls and Hmong and Vietnamese and Laotian and some Japanese and Chinese, and we had some Somali students, and you know, the usual rest of the country as well. So
the usual suspects.
The usual suspects,
but
right?
The attraction
but I mean,
is
that was different. That little demographic is different as opposed to the usual makeup of the Twin Cities people.
And the attraction for different culture, like the Latino woman.
You know, sometimes it's just that they you know, everybody has a different reason for coming. For coming. Some people like see the work, they see the performances on the stage, and they think, I want to be there, I want to do that. That's the longest course of study that they could think. Some people just think, oh, I'd love to know how to do a few movements like that so I can take it out to the club when I go dancing and just throw them in with my other dance. And so there's a lot of that. And some of them are, you know, the Latin girls, because a lot of their dances move their hips, as they dance with hips as well, though it's a little bit different. They like to have a few extra moves to throw into their cha-cha, you know. And Shakira publicized it, absolutely, right, right. And there's a person who, she's part Colombian and Lebanese, I think. Part Lebanese, and she's from Colombia.
A new one, huh?
Yeah, no, that's Shakira.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
Shakira is, and she actually can, and she actually studied with a dancer that was originally from Miami that I know. Yeah, she doesn't say that because, you know, she's a big star, and you say, well, I learned, I was born with it, you know.
Born with that. Well, I mean, that's some truth to that. People are really
some
natural.
Truth to it, absolutely. Some people are absolutely natural dancers.
Is her version like an exaggerated version? Because when I watch her, it's like a Middle Eastern dance on a steroid. You know?
Yeah, but you know, you have to think about what she's doing. I mean, you know, she's not trying to represent like Arabic dancing in its most artistic form. She's trying to do a few moves of kind of like what we all call belly dancing, and she's got to do it for a an audience of 40,000, right, in
Yeah.
an arena. So it can't be too small and delicate. It needs to be big enough that we can see it from, you know, the back row, and that
Sure.
everyone can see that. So that you know, when the venue that you're performing in sometimes
I
does
see.
change what you have to
Affects
do.
it.
And for her, that would change that, because she's in an arena and she's got huge.
So I'm assuming
audiences.
based on the audience or the event, you prepare yourself. So how do you prepare yourself to go on stage and dance for an event that